Welcome to Monday, the 17th of June, 2019. Year of electricity. Turns out I wasn't done with the summer summary. 'Cause I say so. I got no director. No one's telling me what to say and do. I have no script. I don't have any corporate sponsors here, Corpse Orit sponsors. Today is full moon, the 17th of June. The J moon of the J1, Juno. The Io, the 1 and the O. The 10 of Satan, of Saturn, of Sat, Chit, Ananda. Of time, of Santa Claus, of the Claustrum. Om. Santa Fe, Holy Faith this is Santa Fe by Beirut, a local New Mexico band, which interestingly I did not learn of until I came back here to Massachusetts after living in Santa Fe for 3 years. I learned about them from a guy named Jared. And very interesting band with the horn section. They have like a mariachi feel. So the 17th of June would originally is now known as 617, and it's 617 day. Originally this would be 417. June is 4 letters like May is 3. Originally the third month, April is 2, and Mars is 1. These are the moons. The months are the moons of the mother. And this leads into why today is Moon's Day and we have a full moon on 617 day, and 617, 6 and 1 is 7 and 7. 7 is the number value in gematria, the geometrization of the word Christ. Christ, see the crest of the crescent of the moon, of mother, of Mary, of Maria, the moon personified, of Hathor, the mother, Isis, mother of the god Horus, of the hours and the minutes. The minutes are the moon, the hours, the sun, Horus, hours and Horus, anagrams, Aries, Mars. This brings us into why I am doing this today, because why I wanted to do another ending, another summer, they're really going to end it going into the summer solstice now, which is right here, coming right up now, this week on Frau's Day, Friday. So this is fascinating this week. You see the 2 days of their female of the 7 are Monday, the Moon's Day, and Friday, Venus Day, the day of Frau, or Ishtar, or Easter, or Esther. Again, Hathor, the crescent moon horns of the cow goddess mother, moon maiden. So this is marketing, is all about Mars and Mercury, about commerce of Mercury, or Hermes in Greek, where we get Hermeticism, or occult, hidden science, Hermes Trismegistus. So we're going to go to the etymology of these words that make up everything we know of as money and marketing, and I wanted to show you why this explains why the term, part of why, because there's more than just one reason for these sorts of things with the names and the way they're marketed. Marijuana, Mary and Jane. Jane, or the female version of John. So Mary and Jane, obviously a holy name, but it has connotations with Mexico, because it's a Mexican term, marijuana, Mary Jane, Mary and Juana. And that plays on the xenophobia, the racism, xenophobia of middle white America, of, the power structure needs the population divided in order to rule it. And look at these more M's: medical movement, marijuana, medicine, medi in the middle, movement, moon mind, of eve, evening, as I've shown a billion times now with the ecliptic chart I made, the sacred feminine and masculine of gender that is in all, as the Kabbalion teaches, as occult science, Hermeticism teaches, gender is in all, and number is in all. All is number. The real understanding of mathematics, the real teaching of mathematics starts with you. Before you even begin to go into timelines and even the writing and understanding the numbers, you have to be taught the philosophy and taught to what the reality that your consciousness is linked with the cosmos, that you are identified with the cosmos in actuality. You're identical. There's no point at which you begin and the cosmos ends. It's a flow, a continuous flow, and you are that. That's the number one teaching of odd, even, Adam, Eve, dawn and evening. That this pair of L's, these two parallels of Cancer and Capricorn and all the doubling of the dual, the two L's of 12 and 12, L is number 12, 24, the hours of the day, the pillars, the twins of Gemini in the torso with the arms and the lungs, right after Taurus of the torso in the cerebellum and the throat, and that mathematics is totally astrological based. The three glyph with the 3 points, with the tropics and the equator, 1, 2, 3. The tree, the word 3 is tree with an H after the T, and T is twin T. So we're given a watered down mathematics, we're given a watered down English, angelish language teaching, we're giving a watered down everything by so-called education from the state, from the governmental structure, system. It's there to govern the mental, to govern the mind, which is Eve, the psyche. Adam is the body, soma, of the East. Adam first created Mars, Martian, maritime, admiralty law, marketing, Mercury, Hermes. All the vowels are 1. A is 1, E is 5, I is 9, O is 15, and 21 is U, sometimes Y 25. What are all those numbers, positions in the alphabetical order of the vowel L's have in common? And remember, L is the Phoenician phonetic for God, at the 12 o'clock position of the L, of the head and the heel, of heaven and hell, above and below. Mind control from the government to keep you from understanding that you are that the clock structure is your structure of 360, of the 3 dimensions, the base 6, of the axis, the A6, of 3 dimensions, of height, up, down, north, south, head to toe, heaven to hell, head to heel, above to below, or AB to MN, the soul into the water, making the splash. And then the height, the length on the horizon of Horus, eyes on of east to west, of Adam first, the body, the soma, and Eve the psyche, the mind, the M-ind, M in the middle, the 13 of the 26, M of memory, which is absorbed, the water of the mem, the wave of the W23 and M13, 2, 3, and 1, 3, above and below, water, matter, mother, womb, man, world, word, whirling wharf, warp, weft, wave, of Eve, of everyone, everything, everywhere. The all is mind, the universe is mental, the mind of 9, of the feminine, of the 9 months before birth, the 3 trimesters, M, of Memphis, of the pyramid in the mid-L, the 2D depiction, flat rendering of the pyramid is a triangle, and in 3D it is a tetrahedron of the tetragrammaton. It's a 4 structure, 3 and 4, 2 and 3, 2D, 3D. And then the 3D of the, so the 2D is the flat plane of north, south, east, and west, of height and length. And then what's the 3D? What completes it? And what this medium can only give an illusion of. This is the illusion of depth. The 3D is depth, or the 360 of the surround, of the ground, of the all around, the sound, of the source, of the soul, of the sun, of the serpent present on the ecliptic, the sun. of the divine one, of the divide that holds it all to tog ether together. The clothing of the toga of ether, of the upper regions. And this all, so marijuana, marketing, commerce, Mercury, Hermeticism, all comes back to and ties in and wraps up the Donald Trump, Donnie Darko psyop and the flat earth, Plato's cave illusion psyop of MK Ultra, of mind control, of the governmental power structure, of the elites, of the elites, the Wizard of Oz. You are Dorothy. The Wizard of Oz is the power structure with its precedent, setting, set, precedent, presiding, pre-sent, serpent. The trick of electricity of the 617. Trick equals 61/S even, as in today, 617. And the mask of 44, mask equaling 44 in gematria. This is all gematria. Watch the whole series I did on Trump equaling Donnie Darko. He is the mask of the power structure, which is always the same power no matter what the mask is. The last mask was Obama, the hope and change we can believe in, savior from the great demon Bush mask, and then the demon Bush mask. And before that, then another one of these great hopes, the Clinton mask, which was actually just there, but they're all working for the criminal cabal. And the other Bush mask, we almost had a second Clinton mask. I mean, this should be transparent to everyone, but the problem is we have a general population using only a third of their brain capacity or less. Turned off, switched off. The switch has been pushed down by division, and by confusion, and by lack of clarity, by lack of knowledge or gnosis. That's my diagnosis, and the prognosis is gnosis, Moses of the cosmos. So Trump is all about the big buildings. He's the Mason mask of the Masons of Beltane, May 1st, of the Elites, of the Taurus torso, and the torch of the 12. The esoteric or inner secret, the inner truth, inner reality of the situation is far different from the exo that's sold to the masses through marketing or Mars cutting or commercial enterprises, which is all based on the gospel or the go spell of the hex of the hexagram and the hexagon and the pentagon of the Pentateuch. Let's go to commerce. On etymonline.com, www.etymonline.com/index.php (term) = commerce. This is what runs everything in this. It's the name of the game. The Commerce Department and the government buying and selling money. Money, munai. And how many even have considered what the word is, where the word comes from? Commerce, noun, 1530s. Social intercourse, 1580s, interchange of goods or property. Trade, trade, especially trade on a large scale by transportation between countries or different parts of the same country. From Middle French, commerce, 14c. From Latin, commercium, trade, trafficking. Trade and trafficking. The tira of terra, Greek earth, of terrestrial. Track, train, trafficking, traffic, trade, tradition. From with, together, commerce. With, means with, together, and con also does, so does See com dash. That's in bold letters linking. And then the other word coming up that's linked in bold letters, market. See market. Plus, so this is where the other part, it's commerce is com plus mercs. It's a compound word. Together, pounded together, compound. Com together plus mercs. Commerce, M-E-R-X, genitive, mercis, merci, M-E-R-C-I-S, like merci, mercies, mercy, merchandise. See market, noun. It also was the name of a card game, very popular, merchant dice, commerce. Very popular in 1770s and 80s as a verb, having dealings with 1590s related commerced, commercing. Commercial, e-commerce, and then market. These are all related entries. Commercial, e-commerce, and market. And then alphabetical list. Commentary, commentate, commentation, commentator, commenter, commercial, commercialism, commercialization, commercialize, commie, C-O-M-M-I-E, communist, communist. Let's click on market now. Com and market are the two to link on. Well, we already know about com, we've done that already. So let's go to market, noun. And I'm going to show you how this all leads back to astrology, to occult science, and to specifically Mercury, Mars, market, marking, marry, water, as in nightmare of the moon. Market, noun. Early 12C, a meeting at a fixed time for buying and selling livestock and provisions. An occasion on which goods are publicly exposed for sale, and buyers assemble to purchase, unquote. And meeting beginning with M, because everything that's met is in the middle, and M is the middle of the alphabet, or Aleph Beth, A and B of Abraham and Brahma. From Old North French market, marketplace, Old North French remember, English is French, a mix of Old French and Old German. And both are, of course, alphabet, Aleph Beth, languages in which you languish languidly. Mercatus, trading, buying and selling, trade, market. Source of Italian mercato, Spanish mercado, Dutch markt, German markt, from past participle of mercari, to trade, deal in, buy, B-U-I, homophone with B-I. From mercs, genitive mercis again. Wares, merchandise, merchandise, D-I-S-E, like paradise, pair of dice. This is from an italic root, merc, possibly from Etruscan, referring to various aspects of economics. The god Mercurius was probably the god of exchange. According to Wald Hoffman, see, this is, now here we go, ready? The god Mercurius, this is the middle part of this, Mercurius, this is from D. Van, an etymologist. The god Mercurius was probably the god of exchange. The god Mercurius, was probably the god of exchange. According to Wald Hoffman, the god's name was borrowed from Etruscan. In principle, the same is possible for the stem merc, altogether, divan. Meaning public building or space where markets are held is attested from 13c, meaning a city, country, or region considered as a place where things are bought or sold. Is from 1610. Sense of sale as controlled by supply and demand is from 1680s. Market garden, plot of land on which vegetables are grown for. Market is from 1789. Market basket is large basket used to carry marketing, is from 1798. Market price, price a commodity will bring when sold in open market, is from mid 15C. Market value, value established or shown by sales. Of course, homophone with sail, as in ships sailing on the sea of commerce. 1690s is first attested in the writings of John Locke. Let's read that again. Market value, value established or shown by sales. 1690s is first attested in the writings of John Locke. Market economy is from 1948, very recent. Market research is from 1921. Market verb, very much smaller than the noun section we just read. 1630s, intransitive, to buy or sell. 1640s, transitive, to carry or sell in a market. From market, noun, related, marketed, marketing. Marketing. Remember Bill Hicks's deal on marketing? Here's the related entries. Aftermarket, black market, commerce, down market, marketable, marketing, marketplace, mart, mercantile, mercenary, mercer, merchant, mercury, mercy, stock market, supermarket, upmarket. So now we go to Mercury, god of merchants and thieves, mercenary, those paid for hire, and fire. Mercury, the Roman god Mercury, herald and ambassador of his father Jupiter, and mid-12C, Mercury, Mercurie. He's a herald, and ambassador of his father Jupiter, the Roman god Mercury. From late Mercurius, from Latin, not late Latin, El Aten, the sun of light. El Aten Mercurius, Mercury, originally a god of tradesmen and thieves. From merx, merchandise. See market, where we just were, or perhaps Klein Tucker from Etruscan and influenced by merx. Divan, again divan, thinks it possible the whole stem merc was borrowed and the god name with it. Mercury later was identified with Greek Hermes, and still later with Germanic Woden, as in Woden's Day, Wednesday, that's the day of Mercury or Hermes, from his role as a messenger and conveyor of information. Mercury of the mind, conveyor of information. Inform. Since mid-17C, Mercury has been a common name for a newspaper. Messengers, a messenger, message, ja. The planet closest to the sun was so called in classic Latin. 1300 C in English. That's when it's traced to, calling the closest planet of the sun this messenger, god of thieves and merchants, of enchantment, of the land of enchantment. Ex aco. A hypothetical inhabitant of the planet was a Mercurian, 1855. Or a Mercurian, 1755, different spelling, Mercurean in 1855, and Mercurian from 100 years earlier, 1755. For the metallic, then here we go again, the metallic element, see mercury. Mercury, silver white fluid, noun, mercury, not capitalized, silver white fluid, metallic element, late 14C, from medieval Latin mercurius, from Latin mercurius, see mercury, the noun version, the name. Name me. Prepared in ancient times from cinnabar. It was one of 7 metals, bodies terrestrial, known to the ancients, which were coupled in astrology and alchemy with the 7 known heavenly bodies. This one probably was associated with the planet for its mobility. The others were sun/gold, moon or was silver, so the element for the sun is gold, moon is silver, Mars is iron, Saturn lead, Jupiter tin, and Venus copper. The Greek name for Mercury was hydragyros, or liquid silver. Sanctuary, Taurus. The Greek name for it was hydragyros, liquid silver, which gives the element its symbol, Hg. Hydragyros, water and silver, liquid silver, hydragyros. Gyros is silver, hydra, liquid, water, hydration, hydrangea, Hg. H.G. Wells. Compare quicksilver, which is linked in bold, the etymology of quicksilver, which is its popular name. It has a freezing point of 39 C. The use of the word in reference to temperature or state of the atmosphere by 1756 is from its use in thermometers, and barometers. And here's the related entries for Mercury. Intramercurial, market, mercurial, mercuric, quicksilver. So Trump equals 88 in English gematria. T is 20. R, the 2, 20, 20, 2020. R is 18. U is 21. 2 and 1, 3. U is UR3. M, 1, 2, 3, 13th letter. Add those numbers and you get 88, which is the number of days in a year for Mercury, closest to the sun, and it reduces to 617. And this here character of Mercurius, of Quicksilver, of merchants and thieves, well, his the word persona also, this persona character of the ego, of the mask or the facade of the power structure, persona also equals 88, which is a word for ego or the social mask. And a market of Mercury is a social gathering, and an economy is a market, so-called free market. Yeah, free? Well, let's read what Chris Hedges has to say about this Trump character and the free market and the whole thing. And then from there I will wish you a happy summer solstice, the summit of the year, and a happy 2019 and happy trails until we meet again. The useful idiocy of Donald Trump. Truthdig.com. The Useful Idiocy of Donald Trump by Chris Hedges. The problem with Donald Trump is not that he is... The trouble with Donald Trump is not that he is imbecilic and inept. It is that he has surrendered total power to the oligarchic and military elites. They get what they want. Same as Bush, same as Obama. They do what they want. Although the president is a one-man wrecking crew, aimed at democratic norms and institutions. Although he has turned the United States into a laughingstock around the globe, our national crisis is embodied not in Trump, but the corporate state's now unfettered pillage. Trump, who has no inclination or ability to govern, zero, has handed the machinery of government over to the bankers, corporate executives, right-wing think tanks, intelligence chiefs, and generals. They are eradicating the few regulations and laws that inhibited a naked kleptocracy. They are dynamiting the institutions, including the State Department, that served interests other than corporate profit, and are stacking the courts with right-wing, corporate-controlled ideologues. Trump provides the daily entertainment. The elites handle the business of looting, exploiting, and destroying. Once democratic institutions are hollowed out, a process begun before the election of Trump, despotism is inevitable. The press is shackled. Corruption and theft take place on a massive scale. The rights and needs of citizens are irrelevant. Dissent is criminalized. Militarized police monitor, seize, and detain Americans without probable cause. The rituals of democracy become farce. This is the road we are traveling. It is a road that leads to internal collapse and tyranny, and we are very far down it. The elite's moral and intellectual vacuum produced Trump. They too are con artists. They are slicker than he at selling the lies and more adept at disguising their greed through absurd ideologies such as neoliberalism and globalization. But they belong to the same criminal class and share many of the pathologies that characterize Trump. The grotesque visage of Trump is the true face of politicians such as George W. Bush, Bill and Hillary Clinton, and Barack Obama. The Clintons and Obama, unlike Bush and Trump, are self-aware and therefore cynical, but all lack a moral compass. As Michael Wolff writes in Fire and Fury inside the Trump White House, the president has no scruples. He lives outside the rules and is contemptuous of them. And this makes him identical to those he has replaced, not different. A close Trump friend who was also a good Bill Clinton friend found them eerily similar, except that Clinton had a respectable front and Trump did not, Wolff writes. Trump, backed by the most retrograde elements of corporate capitalism, including Robert and Rebecca Mercer, Sheldon Adelson, and Carl Trump, backed by the most retrograde elements of corporate capitalism, including Robert and Rebecca Mercer, Sheldon Adelson, and Carl Icahn, is the fool who prances at the front of our death march. As natural resources become scarce and the wealth of the empire evaporates, a shackled population will be forced to work harder for less. State revenues will be squandered in grandiose projects and futile wars in an attempt to return the empire to a mythical golden age. The decision to slash corporate tax rates for the rich while increasing an already bloated military budget by $54 billion is typical of decayed civilizations. Empires expand beyond their capacity to sustain themselves and then go bankrupt. The Sumerian, Egyptian, Greek, Roman, Mayan, Khmer, Ottoman, and Austro-Hungarian empires all imploded in a similar fashion. The lessons of history are clear, but the illiterate charlatans who seize power in the dying days of empire know nothing of history. They are driven by a primal and inchoate lust for wealth, one that is never satisfied, no matter how many billions they possess. The elites in dying cultures turn everything into a commodity. Human beings are commodities. The natural world is a commodity. Government and democratic institutions are commodities. All are mined and wrecked for profit. Nothing has an intrinsic value, nothing is sacred. The relentless and suicidal drive to accumulate greater and greater wealth by destroying the systems that sustain life is idolatry. It ignores the biblical injunction that idols always begin by demanding human sacrifice and end by demanding self-sacrifice. The elites are not only building our funeral pyre, they are building their own. The elites, lacking a vision beyond satiating their own greed, revel in the intoxicating power to destroy. They confuse destruction with creation. They are agents of what Sigmund Freud calls the death instinct. They find in acts of national self-immolation a godlike power. They denigrate empathy, intellectual curiosity, artistic expression, and the common good, virtues that sustain life. They celebrate a hyper-individualism embodied in celebrity, wealth, hedonism, manipulation, and the ability to dominate others. They know nothing of the past. They do not think about the future. Those around them are temporarily useful to their aims and must be flattered and rewarded, but in the end are ruthlessly cast aside. There is no human connection. This emotional numbness lies at the core of Trump's personality. No emotional connection. Stephen Bannon described Trump as a simple machine. Wolf writes, the on switch was full of flattery, the off switch full of calumny. The flattery was dripping, slavish, cast in ultimate superlatives, and entirely disconnected from reality. So-and-so was the best, the most incredible, the ne plus ultra, the eternal. The calumny was angry, bitter, resentful, ever a casting out and closing of the iron door. The elites in a dying culture confuse what the economist Karl Polanyi calls real and fictitious commodities. A commodity is a product manufactured for sale. The ecosystem, labor, and money, therefore, are not commodities. Once these fictitious commodities are treated as real ones for exploitation and manipulation, Polanyi writes, human society devours itself. Workers become dehumanized cogs, currency and trade are manipulated by speculators, wreaking havoc with the economy and leading to financial collapse. The natural world is turned into a toxic wasteland. The elites, as the society breaks down, retreat into protected enclaves where they have access to security and services denied to the wider population. They last longer than those outside their gates, but the tsunami of destruction they orchestrate does not spare them. As long as Trump serves the interests of the elites, he will remain president. If for some reason he is unable to serve these interests, he will disappear. Wolf notes in the book that after his election there was a surprising and sudden business and Wall Street affinity for Trump. He went on, an anti-regulatory White House and the promise of tax reform outweighed the prospect of disruptive tweeting and other forms of Trump chaos. Besides, the market had not stopped climbing since November 9, the day after the election. The Russia investigation launched when Robert Mueller became special counsel in May, and which appears to be focused on money laundering, fraud, and shady business practices, things that have always characterized Trump's financial empire, is unlikely to unseat the president. He will not be impeached for mental incompetence over the emoluments clause or for obstruction of justice, although he is guilty on all these counts. He is useful to those who hold the real power in the corporate state. However, they would like to domesticate him. Trump's bizarre ramblings and behavior also serve a useful purpose. They are a colorful diversion from the raising of democratic institutions. As cable news networks feed us stories of his trysts with a porn actress and outlandish tweets, the real work of the elites, is being carried out largely away from public view. The courts are stacked with Federalist Society judges. The fossil fuel industry is plundering public lands and coastlines and ripping up regulations and that protected us from its poisons. And the Pentagon, given carte blanche is engaged in an orgy of militarism with $1 trillion a year budget and about 800 million bases and 800 military bases in scores of countries around the world. 800 military bases around the world. Trump, as Wolf describes him in the book, is clueless about what he has unleashed. He is uninterested in and bored by the complexities of governance and policy. The faster Trump finds a member of the oligarchy or the military to take a job off his hands, the happier he becomes. This suits his desires. It suits the desires of those who manage the corporate state. For the president, there is only one real concern, the tumultuous Trump White House reality show and how it plays out on television. He is a creature solely concerned with image, or more exactly, his image. Nothing else matters. For each of his enemies, quote, for each of his enemies and actually for each of his friends, the issue for him came down in many ways to their personal press plan, Wolf writes of the president. Trump assumed everybody wanted his or her 15 minutes and that everybody had a press strategy for when they got them. If you couldn't get press directly for yourself, you became a leaker. There was no happenstance news in Trump's view. All news was manipulated and designed, planned and planted. All news was to some extent fake. He understood that very well because he himself had faked it so many times in his career. This was why he had so naturally cottoned to the fake news label. I've made stuff up forever, and they always print it, he bragged. Yes, the elites wish Trump would act more presidential. It would help the brand. But all attempts by the elites to make Trump conform to the outward norms embraced by most public officials have failed. Trump will not be reformed by criticism from the establishment. Republican Senators Jeff Flake of Arizona and Bob Corker of Tennessee, who denounced Trump, saw their approval ratings plummet and have decided not to run for re-election. Trump may have public approval of only 39% overall, but among Republicans the figure is 78%, and I don't think those numbers will decrease. The inability of the political establishment and the press to moderate or reform Trump's egregious behavior is rooted in their loss of credibility. The press, along with political and intellectual elites, spent decades championing economic and political policies that solidified corporate power and betrayed and impoverished American workers. The hypocrisy and mendacity of the elites left them despised and distrusted by the victims of deindustrialization and austerity programs. The attempt to restore civility to public discourse and incompetency to political office is therefore fruitless. Liberal and establishment institutions, including the leadership of the two main political parties, academia, and the press, squandered their moral authority. And the dogged refusal by the elites to address the engine of discontent, social inequality, their refusal to address social inequality, the elites, ensures that they will remain ineffectual. The press. They lay down the asphalt for the buffoonery of Trump and the coming tyranny. In this article. That was it's at truthdig.com. Articles/useful idiocy Donald Trump by Chris Hedges. Namaste, hallelujah, aloha. Happy summer summit. May the force be with you. And don't forget, there's one meme, a single meme, which holds the power structure in place, the governmental control, the corporate control, all mental slavery is held in place by one meme, one thought, the thought that this is not the divine, that this is not God. That meme, that lie, holds it all. Holds the poverty, the elites at the top. That's what holds them there. They need all of the masses infected and totally convinced that this is not God. Because if everyone knew the reality that this is God, the divine Christ of the crest of the wave of the summer summit of all summaries and all sums of the sun, the sum of all parts of the total L12 of heaven and hell, above and below, of AB to M and N, of fire to water, the empyrean into the body of matter, mother water, making the splash of the wave of Aqua Osiris, the father, Pisces, the mother, and Aries Horus, the sun, the risen one of the sun of the day, saving us from the darkness of and cold of nighttime and the winter of the valley. If everyone knew the reality that this is the divine one,